Okay, so the next concept is not that different than the first one. So, a quick review. We have been talking about how to solve equations using the zero product principle, and we practiced taking out a common factor to solve. So, a good example was a homework question that said b squared plus 6b equals 0. So we look on the left-hand side for a common factor, which is b. We take that out. We're left with a b plus 6. Now I have an equation that says one number times another number equals 0. So this number is 0. Nothing to do to solve there. Or this number is 0. And we solve by subtracting 6 from both sides, and we get b equals negative 6. So the zero product principle is that idea that if two numbers multiply to get 0, one of them has to be 0, and then taking out a common factor. Another great example was this question here, where we had 3k squared equaled 6k, and the first thing we had to do was set it equal to 0. Two ways. You could subtract 6k from both sides and get this. Take out the common factor of 3k and you get k minus 2 equals 0. And now you get k equals 0 or k equals 2. I'm skipping some steps there because you've done this problem already. You could have subtracted 3k squared from both sides and gotten this 6k minus 3k squared. Same thing, factor out the 3k and you're left with 2 minus k. This solves the same way, right? So 2 minus k is 0 and you get k equals 2, or 3k equals 0 and you get k equals 0. I don't care which one you do, but for this next concept, I think it'll be a lot easier if we keep the squared term positive. So let's take a look at the new unit. The new unit is nothing, or the new concept is not that different from what we were doing, except now we're going to get some quadratic trinomials. So something like this: 2x squared plus 7x minus 9 equals x squared minus x. So first thing we do, set it equal to 0. I could subtract all of this stuff here and move it over to the other side. I think it'll be easier to subtract this x squared and add x. So subtract this x squared over here, add x. Now what's going to happen is these will cancel and these will cancel. That's why we did it. I'll be left with a 0. But then over here I'll get a positive x squared plus 8x minus 9. Now I look for the factors of 9 that subtract to 8. X with a 9, x with a 1, still equals 0. We need to keep writing this. Can't change it to an expression just because we're factoring. This is a minus, so I get a minus plus or a plus minus. This here goes with the bigger number. So x plus 9 equals 0, or x minus 1 equals 0. I get x equals negative 9, or x equals 1. So that's it for our new concept. It's not much. It's doing what we were doing last unit with these quadratic trinomials, but now we understand why we need to factor, because that's how we're going to solve equations. So let's hit the highlights here. The highlights are: 1. Set equation equal to 0. Set equation equal to 0. Second thing, look for a greatest common factor. Pull that factor out. Don't divide by it. Pull that factor out because we can't get rid of solutions that might be there. 3, look for quadratic trinomials that factor. So that's the ax squared plus bx plus c. Look to see if those factor, and that'll let you solve equations. That big packet I handed out in class on Monday, you'll need that for class tomorrow, Tuesday, so please make sure you have that packet with you. There's lots of good practice problems there. Short video. Remember, no technology in the classroom for the rest of the year. Make sure you watch this video before you come to class, but that makes sense. You're already watching it. All right, have a great day. Peace.